The story does indeed continue, and new chapters continue to be written. To tell us why they continue to be an important part of the story, please welcome to the stage now the Chairman and CEO of AGL, Mr. Philippe Labon.
Good afternoon, everybody. Your Excellency, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, President of the Confederation of African Football, distinguished members of the CAF Executive Committee, representatives of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. Really, it's a great pleasure to be here today under the rain in Johannesburg for an exciting and symbolic moment for Africa Global Logistics. On behalf of our team, I'm proud to announce the renewal of our partnership with the CAF. AGL will once again serve as the official logistic partner for Africa's two most prestigious football competitions, the Men's Africa Cup of Nations 2025 and the Women's Africa Cup of Nations 2026. This partnership for us, Doctor, is more than a contract. It's a commitment to African football and more broadly, a commitment to Africa. Let me start by briefly introducing AGL to those of you who may not know us yet. AGL, Africa Global Logistics, is a trusted multimodal logistic operator on the African continent. We are part of the MSC family, which is a Swiss-based group. We are present in 47 African countries with 23,000 employees. Our expertise spans port operations, terminals, rail, air, sea transport, and logistic tailor-made solutions for all sectors of the economics, from energy and mining to agriculture, healthcare, and aid and relief. So through our range of activities, we are at the heart of Africa's transformation. Our journey with the CAF began during the Total Energy Africa Cup of Nations 2023 in Côte d'Ivoire. Actually, it was in 24. And where we had the honor of providing logistic support for one of the most watched tournaments, as the short film that we have just saw rightly demonstrate. It was a powerful and really a thrilling experience. And above all, it has reinforced our belief in the role that football plays in driving unity, pride, and development across Africa. Today, we are proud to extend this collaboration and to strengthen it. Looking forward, our partnership will see AGL supporting CAF during three major events: the Women AFCON 2024 in Morocco, the Men AFCON 2025 also in Morocco, and the Women AFCON in 26, which will be held later that year. This is a long-term commitment, a family commitment, dear President. And this commitment is anchored in a shared vision with CAF to make football a lasting driver of economic and social development. We really believe, as I said, that football is more than a game. It's about bringing people together. It's about creating opportunities. And it's also about a showcase of what you can achieve with talent, hard work, and discipline. And the great African soccer players are role models for our youth. And I'm really honored to have this legend among us today. Thank you for coming. As the President Motsepe has truly demonstrated through his achievement at the head of the CAF, football can also have a real and lasting economic and social impact. And it echoes well with AGL ambition to contribute to Africa's transformation. Because logistics is a strategic enabler, it creates jobs, it supports local economies, it connects people and markets. With CAF, we are working to maximize the positive impact of major football events, not just for players and fans, but for community, businesses, and the entire ecosystems. Our commitment, again, is long-term. We are not a B2C company. It's not about visibility. It's about the impact on the people in Africa. Our role as a logistic partner is to ensure that CAF major competition are delivered smoothly, efficiently, and sustainably. Behind every successful tournament, there is a major logistic machinery. This is where we come with innovative, reliable, and obviously environmental conscious solutions. Our team on the ground are passionate, experienced. They are looking forward to meet the challenge, whether it's handling customs, delivering goods to remote stadiums, or ensuring last mile coordination. We are there every step on the way. I want now to highlight one important evolution of this partnership under the leadership of the President Motsepe, which is our support for women's football. AGL is now the official logistic partner of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. And we are deeply proud of that, because empowering women in sport and in workplace is at the heart of AGL priorities. In AGL, we work every day to promote gender equality, ensuring that more women can access leadership roles and that young women see logistics not as a male-dominated sector, but as a place where they can thrive and succeed. Through this partnership with WAFCON, we want to help to break barriers and send a strong message to the next generation. Your place is here, on the field and beyond. In conclusion, to CAF President Dr. Motsepe, to the entire team of the CAF, I want to thank you for trusting us once again, for believing in the power of our collaboration, for shining a light on Africa's most powerful stories on and off the field. Together, we are building, Doctor, more than a tournament. Together, we keep moving Africa forward. Thank you.
Merci. Thank you, Mr. Lebon, for those wonderful, wonderful words. I was waiting for a round of applause when he put emphasis on women's football and the WAFCON, that they're the official logistics partner to the WAFCON. But maybe it was delayed applause. So I'm expecting it now. I think we heard about the shared vision and the values between AGL as well as the Confederation of African Football, and we can agree that this is a union that makes sense. Are these sentiments echoed by the Confederation of African Football? Well, let's find out. And welcome to the stage now, the President of the Confederation of African Football, Dr. Patrice Motsepe.
Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. My brother Philippe, thank you so much for those wonderful, wonderful words. And with your permission, just before we start, we will just spend a few seconds How are you, Fleetwood? Good to see you. Good to see you. Just maintaining the new culture we have in CAF. You know, we always start our meetings recognizing the different religions, the different faiths we belong to, and particularly because we've lost Pope Francis. I went to a Catholic mission school very far away from home when I was 5 years old and spent 10 years at the Catholic mission school. So can we just stand up and just observe a moment of silence, a moment of prayer? And as you said, we have different religions. We're part of the Muslim faith and part of Catholic and Christian, just our different religious background. Just a moment of respect and prayer for our Pope, Pope Francis of the Catholic Church, who's not with us anymore. Just a moment of silent prayer. Thank you so much. I was reminded this is live, so because it's live, I've got to keep it a little bit. I saw people doing the sign of the cross, which is good. Just two quick remarks. The first is just to express my personal deep gratitude and the gratitude of the 54 African nations whose member associations are members of CAF, to our brother Philippe and to the Aponte family. Just pass our regards. I was so privileged to meet the wife. What is her name again? Ella. Ella, that's right. Ella. I almost said Ella, but I don't want, it's good that you remind. It was a privilege to meet her. She looks very young, you know. And she is young. Okay. It was an honor to meet her and you can tell her that I said it was an honor to meet her. You can decide whether you want to tell her all the other things I said, but just tell her. It was a great honor. And of course, I work with some of I have the privilege of working with some of the most successful families in the world. We are part of the Giving Pledge that was started by Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. And in terms of those families that are part of that, we've committed to give half to the poor, because you can't have growth in economies where rich people live in luxury and there are poor people side by side. We've got a duty to uplift and give hope to the future. But going back to the Aponte family, family businesses have deep commitment to the reputation and also to the impact. So it's a great honor, Philippe, for CAF to be with the Aponte family. Now, it doesn't mean because it's a family business, I will not want lots of money from them, you know. And the importance of the money is that every cent, every single cent of every dollar we get goes to football development, goes to youth academies, goes to football for boys and girls, goes to our member associations who are so important. And just before I continue, just to express my deep gratitude for every single one of the member association presidents who are with us. And because you are the backbone of African football, I'll quickly, Danish Jordan, thank you so much for hosting us. And my brother from Mozambique, thanks for the good work. Brother from President of Mauritius. Varon, you are the President of Africa. My brother, President of Comoros. Ntate, President of Lesotho. Nagef, Bagit, Chelastau. And, you know, I spent many years in Swaziland, had a huge privilege of being educated there, met some of the most wonderful people. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Our brother, KK11. For us, it's always KK11, our brother from Zambia. So good to have you here. My broer from Namibia. Thanks for the good work you're doing. So proud of the good work you're doing. And Fleetwood, thank you so much for the good you're doing in Malawi, Fleetwood, and in Mozambique. I've recognized all the presidents. And the reason is because we're going to have a quick meeting. And football in Africa, it's not what happens at the CAF headquarters. It's what happens in every single one of the countries that I've recognized. And I'm so proud of the good work that each of you are doing in your countries. And Lucas, so good to see you. Portia and all of our legends who are here. And thank you so much, Sue, for the work that you are doing. And thanks to everybody. Veron, I'm so proud of the excellent work that you're doing. And Hassan loves Philip. Hassan, at times I didn't know whether Hassan, I know I pay his salary, CAF pays his salary, but I didn't know whether he was more loyal to the Aponte family or to CAF. And then he kept saying to me, President, you know, when you meet Philip, you like him. I said, I like him more if he gives me more money, you know. And so thank you so much. And part of what we want to emphasize is not a single one of your countries. Let me put it more positive. Every single one of the countries that are represented by our member association presidents, we need you to play football in your country, in your country. So we are working together with your heads of states, and I'll be visiting again some of the heads of state because the partnership is so important to build every single country in Africa. Mauritius, I recognize you as well, because I shouldn't say my family loves Mauritius. I must say my family loves all of your countries and all of the 54. But we need to make sure that in every single African country that you play football in front of your supporters, in front of your fans. And that's partly why this $1 billion CAF commitment over the next 8 years that I spoke about, which is going very well, despite some of the challenges we have in terms of make sure that there's total. We want long-term contracts for the sponsors because that's the only way they get their returns. And of course, there are some legal limitations that we are working to resolve and make sure that we can build stadiums. In every country, there must be a stadium, and that is at the CAF and FIFA standards. And I was in Morocco a few days ago, Philippe, and I emphasized that African football, Lucas, you could play in any team in the world. We have to win. I mean, African football must be exciting. If the supporters, the fans, look at how we play football on TV and it excites them, they want to come to the stadium. That's what it's all about. And also on the world stage, we will only really be respected as African football. And of course, my main job is Africa, because Africa is what I owe my duty to. But of course, I'm a citizen of the world and I've got a duty to the rest of the world. But when Morocco went to the semifinals in Qatar, it was a moment of pride for the people of Morocco, a moment of pride for Africa. And today I'm in South Africa and I'm going to say what I say in South Africa, which I would say the same words in every single one of the 15 presidents who are here from COSAFA, and in every single one of the 54 nations in Africa, where there's enormous potential. We need to invest in youth football, and of course we need the private sector. We need business to recognize. We want business to do well. I want AGL to succeed, and I want AGL because my shareholders all over the world say to me, where are my dividends? What's happening to my share price? So I want AGL and MSC, Veron. The family company is called MSC. MSC. Yeah, Mother Sugar Canada. Mediterranean Sugar Company. Mediterranean Shipping Company. Almost said. So we want them to succeed, create value for the shareholders. And so we want the private sector to partner more, sponsor football. And if they sponsor football, they succeed more. And of course, we give comfort in terms of governance, in terms of ethics, in terms of transparency, in terms of zero tolerance for corruption, zero tolerance for improper behavior by those who are involved in football. And that's the reason why we have succeeded enormously over the last 4 years to get sponsors and partners in Africa and all over the world coming to partner with CAF. Now, let me tell you two other things. I told Karen that I'm very proud of her and very proud of SuperSport, very proud of South African Broadcasting Corporation, very proud of every single one of you because you are the people who make football very popular. And as I was walking in, somebody asked me, In fact, Lucas was talking to me, and I said to Lucas, we were talking about many things, but I said, oh, I'm happy Kaizer Chiefs is back in the Confederations Cup. Because if you grew up the way I grew up, you cannot develop South African football without a successful Kaizer Chiefs. And let me quickly say, without a successful Golden Arrows, AmaZulu, and all the others, so that they feel that I have a duty to recognize all of them. But I'm so proud, and I'm proud of the work that the Mutaung family is doing. And I say the same thing about Mbabane Swallows, about Chiefs in Botswana and every single one of the countries where we need to develop club football. We will be going to America in a few months for the best football clubs in the world, the very best. And I was in Miami a few weeks, and I was told, you know, when you have Brazil play, it's beautiful. But when you have Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. and all of these others in the same team, it's something to be proud of. And we want the best of Africa to be competing, the best of African football to be competing against the best of world football. And we are confident, as I said, part of our objective is an African nation. An African nation will be champions of the World Cup. That is the aim, and we recognize it needs investment, and it needs commitment. And where we've got countries where heads of state support football and loves football, those are the countries that usually succeed enormously. Now, today is about football because our lives are about football. We are passionate about football. But we also recognize the inextricable connection between football and job creation, economic development, investment, a better lifestyle, improvement in the living conditions of our people in every single one of the 54 countries in Africa. And that's why, Philippe, the history of the Aponte family, the history of AGL, and the history of MSC, to use the history to contribute to the improvement of the living conditions of the people where you live is something that we are deeply committed to. But when I was asked to become president of football, now I don't even, when I was involved in president of football, I don't go to meetings of the local football leadership. They do good work, and I'm proud of them. But you know, so the same thing applied in the African continent because we've got. When you lend your name to anything, there has to be a quantifiable, discernible, accessible progress, and not in your mind, but in the mind of third parties, and more important, in the minds of the skeptics. But the point I want to make is, we recognize that through football, and that's why for us as a family, football is part of our philanthropic obligations. We recognize the importance of football to contribute towards, there are certain basic things. We give jobs to the football players, to those who are employed by the national team and the clubs. We give jobs to the coaches. We give jobs to those who provide goods and services to the football industry, very important. But it extends beyond that. It extends to a young boy, a young girl. And that's why women's football, for me and for CAF, is critically important. A young boy watches Lucas Khadebe and play for Leeds and play for Orlando Pirates. You played for Orlando Pirates, is that correct? You know, Pirates was my father's team. So, you know, whenever they talk, I get confused. My son, who's involved in another club, say hello to me. I said, make sure Pirates does well. Oh, daddy, man. Make sure Chiefs does well. So Lucas made us proud when he was with Kaizer Chiefs. But the point I'm making is, young boys and girls look at him, gets inspiration, and think, you know, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a scientist. And if Lucas can be so special, if Banda, Kamanga, Banda is the highest paid football player, woman football player in the world. And you know where she comes from, Kamanga? She's from Lusikisiki. So Lusikisiki is one of the villages where Mandela came from, in the Eastern Cape, which I love him. Banda is from Zambia. He is one of our own, from Africa. And the very, very best inspires young girls, those who want to become football players, as well as those who think, if she can fulfill her dreams, I can do the same. And why we always start with a prayer in CAF is because we also recognize the importance of football to bring people from different religious backgrounds together. I am what I am, and we are what we are as a family, because of people from all religious backgrounds, Catholic, Christian, Muslim, the Jewish faith, all of the faiths in the world. So we've got a deep commitment and a deep duty to them. So football brings people together from different ethnic, from different racial backgrounds. When people look at a football player, whether in Paris or London or Lagos or Johannesburg, they feel proud, because whether you are orange, green, yellow, black, white, you are my hero. So for us, of course, the focus is football, and we've got to succeed, and African football must be world class and must be as good as the best in the world, and is making enormous progress. And part of that is we must get more financial involvement. We've got to pay our players in Africa even more, and we should do it because there's money coming in, because we can't expect families that own football clubs to consistently subsidize the salaries from their limited resources. We've got to help them. And part of helping them is more sponsorship. And that's why there were approximately 70 clubs that participated in the CAF competitions. We gave each of them 50,000 for the first time. We've got a clear plan to give them more, to help them, because they have to travel. They can't compete. They can't maintain the resources, their competitiveness with the limited resources they have. We've got a plan. That's why the presidents, all of the presidents here, Fleetwood from the 54, I'll keep mentioning your name if you keep looking at your laptop, Fleetwood, because I know in your laptop you are sending messages to me. I don't want you to send messages to me. My cell phone keeps ringing, and when I look, it's Fleetwood. Anyway, so we need to get more resources to our presidents, to our football associations, and that's why, the partnership with AGL puts us in a position you need more financial resources for the football federation so that they can do the work they need to do. All right, so Veron, is there something I forgot? Okay. We will be in, Veron says no, but he always says no, even if there are things I forgot. And we will be in Ghana on Friday. I'll be leaving late. I'll be flying out very early on Saturday to go to Ghana. And I'm excited because of what's happening in Ghana. It's all the presidents of the member associations in WAFU will be in West Africa will be coming together. But it's the schools competition, the African Schools Football Championship, this new schools competition that we started. As a young boy, I used to watch. In fact, the first time I saw Kaiser Motaung was when he came to play at my father's school. One of the legends, and of course, Kaiser always has been a very special hero. But we were young boys, but it was schools football. Some of the best football players in South Africa came from the schools. And some of the best football players now that we see in Malawi, in Zambia, in Mauritius, in every country on the continent, those young boys and girls that we will be look, Portia, you're okay? Very good. Portia, as I was walking in, said, Banyana needs me because I can still score goals for them. She was one of the very best. But those young boys and girls that we will be seeing in Ghana, there's about 1 million of them. There's 1 million young boys and girls at about 300,000 schools on the African continent who are taking boys and girls. Because we said the days for just saying it's about boys. I come from a family where my mother used to run the family business. So when Philippe said, you are also working with us for women's football, we know that if you want to invest in a community, in a family, in a nation, I'm not saying don't invest in the boys and men, do that, but start with the girls and the women, because it is the mother who nurtures us. Anyway, I want to stop here and just say how enormously proud I am. And just one quick issue. I was with Thabo Mbeki yesterday. And why I'm saying that is because there were, let me talk about football, because in the midst of former President Mbeki, had a quick discussion. But why I'm mentioning it is because it's partly how we see our duty as South Africans, as Africans in Africa. Nelson Mandela was enormously passionate. And that's why when I look at Kamanga, we still talk about KK11, Kenneth Kaunda. Nelson Mandela, enormously passionate, enormously committed to Africa. And of course, Thabo Mbeki, we used to call him, and we still do call him, the Renaissance man, enormously passionate about recognizing that the future of South Africa is inextricably intertwined with the future of the African continent. And we were talking about, there were other things, but the most important issue that's relevant here is about the importance of football and how football should continue to bring our people together and inspire. So when Morocco wins, it's something that all of us are proud on the continent. When Nigeria were the champions of the Olympics, it was a moment of pride. When Zambia were the champions of Africa, moment of pride. Mark Fish is not here anymore. I was with Mark Fish in Morocco. When Lucas and Mark were champions of Africa. When Cameroon were champions of the Olympics in the world, moment of pride. So I can say the same thing about Nelson Mandela, every single head of state in South Africa. Whether it was Nelson Mandela or Thabo Mbeki or Jacob Zuma or Cyril Ramaphosa now, recognize the enormous duty we have and the passion and the love we have for the continent. Thank you so much. Wish you all of the best. Thank you for the partnership, and see you again. Well, I think it's not for me to talk about the progress. It's, as I said, the perception of success, because at the end of the day, football, in fact, anything in life, Philip will tell you, whether it's business or football, it's about results. It is about results. So when every member association was getting 200,000 every year, we now give them, we've doubled it, which is 400,000. And even the 400,000 is very small in relation to where we should be and in relation to what is required. When you look at every single one of our competition, and again, it's not about me, I walk around the continent, they say, President, you've done such a great job. It's about the leadership. It's about the work that every single one of the presidents, and that's why I was insisting when we met in Egypt, that all the presidents stand up, because some of them are not members of EXCO. And because they're not members of EXCO, they're not given the recognition that they deserve. So that's why success of football in Lesotho, success of football in Mozambique is critically important. And that's why I was saying the focus now has to be, and that's where the challenge is. It's to introduce governance and ethics and to say non-negotiable. We will take action against you. We will take serious action. If we find you being involved in improper, unethical, governance violating, or corruption, we will take serious action. And of course, I have to respect the judicial bodies, the appeal board and the disciplinary board. And sometimes I think the penalties are not harsh enough. I don't want to mention any football clubs. There was a lot of, including in South Africa, where there was disturbances by the fans. And that's bad. And every single club and all over the continent. And we are there to help you. But we have to send a serious message that people come to the stadium, it should be a place of safety, a place of enjoyment, not a place of disturbances and uprisings. One of the supporters almost fell down and lost their lives. We have zero tolerance for that. Anyway, so the issue for me is when you've got sponsors and shareholders all over the world saying, we want to come, and we want to put money into football, it's a good sign. But I don't want to spend too much time talking about our achievements because that's for other people to do. The issue for me is just to focus on quantifiable, accessible progress at all levels. On the field of play, win. African nations, African clubs must win. Off the field, the stadium must be world class. The infrastructure, when you go to the stadium and when you visit a country and the country that's hosting you, the football nation that's hosting you, meets you at the airport, welcome home. You may be a football club from another country. We are here to make your visit here as enjoyable as possible. The same applies for national teams. So there's incredible progress. Now, just one final thing. You know, at times, I was asked to unite black and white business in South Africa because it was divided along racial lines. And one of the things you learn is not so much what happens whilst you are president. It's more important what happens when you are not president. And that means you've got to put in place, whilst you are president, capable leadership that can take over from you, not when you step down, but tomorrow when you get knocked down by a bus. That's the duty of every leader from day one. And I'm proud of the leadership we have in this room from Africa. And I'm proud of the leadership we have in CAF Exco and the vice presidents that I'll be announcing on, when am I announcing them, Ron? On Saturday. Yeah. Next question. This is, the difficult questions go to Philip and the easy ones go to me.
Thank you again. But before to replying to your question, and if it is too difficult, I will pass it to Patrice, who is amazing. And I was really proud again of this partnership because, Patrick, you are inspiring. You are really inspiring. And when you lead a company, you are so right. The judgment is 20 years after. Right. Because a difficult decision, you take them when they are adverse to the consensus. So, I mean, thank you for bringing that to our attention. And I am also inspired by your discipline. And I had this word about the legend of soccer in Africa. And I've been lucky to be close to some of them, and they are very disciplined. And you are right also, Patrick, when you say that this soccer player, male or female, they are inspiring all the youth. And the youth, they believe, if we can succeed in football, we can succeed as an engineer, we can succeed as a doctor, we can succeed as an actor. So really, this is why we are on football.
As an employee of AGL as well, we can succeed.
But thank you, Patrice. But to come back to what we do, we move goods. We move goods from anywhere in the world to anywhere in Africa. And the organization of African Cup of Nations is huge. To give you an idea, in Côte d'Ivoire, we transported about 2,000 containers, which is about 32,000 tons of goods, steel, equipment, medical equipment. We transported MRI, 6 MRI for Ivorian Hospital, because now with Patrice Motsepe, there is such a high requirement that the country, they have to invest to even to improve their healthcare system. So it was huge, and we have to coordinate and to move it all around Africa. And it was really a great pleasure. But being associated to that, I mean, our people are also proud. And we were in Côte d'Ivoire. Really, it was the best African Cup ever organized. And all our people were proud to be associated to your brand. And when I watch at this movie, it remembers me something, Patrice. When I was at the stadium next to Drogba, Oscar Aponte, that whom you met with Ella, said to his dad, "Hey, look, Dad, Phil is on the TV." So it means this match was watched all over the world. And it was a good advertise also for us, even if we are not in B2C business. So we move goods, and we are trusted. When you give us your goods, your equipment, you can be sure we will deliver. You will track and trace where the goods are, and if an accident occurred, we will make what we have to do to deliver the goods or other goods to replace it. So this is what we are with our team and what we do for such an organization. We will be in Morocco. We are in 47 countries. So once again, you are inspiring us, because we have to be in 54 countries. But we are in Morocco, and in Morocco we have already started to work for the Cup by bringing heavy equipment to the stadium, but because when you talk about the stadium, you talk also about power, because you need energy. Most of the match now are at night, so we are transporting power station, wind farms that will allow the stadium to be lighted at night. Football is not a game; it's a passion. I mean, it's also a way for people to show to the rest of the world, we are good, we are the best, we are disciplined. And I'm really happy by the way you lead this body, this CAF, because you have, I believe, a tremendous opportunity. And we spoke about the French team, but the team of France is a team of Africa. So, Patrice, I mean, this is what you have, and we were champion with this African talent. So, as a French, I'm really happy, and I thank all the Africans who play for France and who are in France. It's time that French people say, we are proud, we are happy to have African in France, but it's also the time that Africa has its own success. And I'm sure that under your leadership, you will be successful. And as you say, you know, we want to be associated with people who are improving our image. We want to make money. We want to be a profitable company. When you visit Tony and our office in South Africa, when you visit our office in Zimbabwe, we want to have the same office everywhere in Africa, state of the art. Yeah. This is why we are associated to the CAF, where we are associated to the leadership of the CAF and to each of you in Africa, because our DNA is Africa. Absolutely. And our focus is Africa. We are, as you said, Patrice, we are a long-term company. We believe your continent is the future of humanity. You are now about 1.5 billion, but in 2025, there will be 2.5 billion of African people, and 1 of 3 will be African. So we have to be there and to be part of this big project of to give to this continent its real destiny.
One president was saying to me in Morocco last week, he asked his Minister of Sports to come to Morocco. And he put him in the car and took him to all the academies and the football fields and the investment in the youth, the schools. And he said to his minister, and you want me to compete with Morocco with the $2 million that I have to fight Thank God there's no government official here. But I mean, to get in fact, he said to get $1 million from you is a challenge. But you want me to compete with Morocco when there's such support and commitment from the highest level. So we are just in a humble way trying to make sure that we give as much money as possible. Because the money is not supposed to sit in Cairo or in some account in Africa. It's got to sit in the bank accounts of the football associations and in the 54 football federations, our member associations. Because we live in a real world, and the real world is, in order to compete, you've got to invest. And in order to invest, you need financial resources at schools, academies, coaches, trainers. So I'm excited that, and I think what makes me even more excited is what Philip said, is the future of African football looks exciting. And exciting beyond my days as president of CAF. And that's very important because we are building legacies here. And it's a legacy that of the 54 nations, the 54 member associations. And it's those who come after us. And that's why part of my focus now is to make sure that that there's sustainability in the future. We will be announcing, I'll be talking to the EXCO on Saturday to tell them very soon we're going to open the AFCON for 2029 and the AFCON for 3031 and the AFCON for 3033 and various other competitions so that we can get countries to prepare. There was a time when Kamanga came to me and said to me that he and Namibia, can you hear me, Namibia, president of Namibia? And I think in Botswana had some thoughts of coming together and hosting one of the competitions. Because I also want to rotate. I'm proud of what's happening in Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda. And I'll be in the Seychelles in a few weeks' time. I'd like to see Mauritius, Comoros, and Madagascar come together. Our beautiful islands. It'll be a celebration of the continent's islands. So all I'm saying is that we need to make sure that there's sufficient resources. Can I just ask all the CAF presidents to come and stand behind us? All of the CAF presidents in COSAFA to come and stand behind us because this is your document and your agreement. Can we clap hands for them as they come up here? All the CAF presidents. Okay. Lux, also the Caesar. Yeah, you must take. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. This way. Thank you, sir. Okay. All right. Are you okay? Yeah. Thank you.